our school sites. We will work on the administrative regulations, which will focus on 4 particular areas: professional development, supports and services, developing the district discipline matrix, which would then be forwarded to schools to help them develop their own discipline matrix, and finally, developing a monitoring and evaluation system for the new policy. We're happy to take any questions that you may have.
I believe, Mr. Russ, we have public comment. How many cards do you have over there?
We have 13 comments on this item.
And the next item, just trying to do some time management here.
We have 6 comments on the next item.
So, let's go ahead and read those off. If you could read the first 5, that would be great. We can get people coming.
Our first 5 speakers, and if folks can please line up behind the podium in the order you're called. Carl Pinkston, Jonathan Tran, Martine Ramirez, Britt Irby, and Amarian Elijah Bates.
Good evening. My name is Carl Pinkston with the Black Parallel School Board. President Kennedy and Superintendent, she's not here, in spirit. She's been a part of our process for a very, very long time.
Here she is.
Oh, Superintendent Noguchi. Anyway, I just wanted, I'm going to have to do this fairly quickly just to give a backdrop about why we are here today. Just to let you know that the Black Parallel School Board ventured on this project in this area since 2011, but it began way back in 2008 around this particular issue. But to give you a sense of, I didn't know if this works. It basically, what I'm going to speak about is that, one, we've had a history of a disproportionate number of suspension and expulsion for a number of years. And it had peaked in 2009 and 10 and has been declining ever since. But not just for Sac City Unified School District, but for every school district. We're not the only ones, but we're one of many. But to get a sense, I want you to pay attention to the orange piece, which is, the orange piece basically is that is reflected of the enrollment for 2012 and 13, which is the African Americans, which only represent approximately 20%, around 19, and 30% is Hispanic. But just look at the pie chart for a minute. In the same year, 2013, for just suspension occurrences for African American, that orange is disproportionate, 44%, and about 31% for Latinos. And of that, which is also very interesting, is that the disproportionate share of suspension and expulsion are for willful defiance. And that's about 30% of all suspensions. Again, just looking at just the orange piece, okay?
Oh, by the way, I'm letting you go over because you've been an integral part of the process, so you're practically like part of the staff report. So go ahead.
Thank you. Just in the area of willful defiance, as you notice how large that orange piece, which is the African American, which is about somewhere around 48%, it's really, really, really high and disproportionate. In fact, for willful defiance, 80% of willful defiance are because of student of color. Now, that's mostly primarily African Americans and Latino. And someone raised the issue of whether or not Southeast Asian are a part of this mix. They are. They also are part. Asians are part. But what happens is that the data hides it so well as to which Southeast Asians are disproportionately impacted because of suspension and expulsion. And they primarily fall among Hmong and Laotians. So because they get mixed in with all the other Asians, you don't actually see the data, and it has to be aggregated disaggregated out to actually take a look at those particular areas. So I wanted to say thank you for giving me additional amount of time to let you see the data, because you haven't had the opportunity to see that, and the rest of the people who will speak to actually the importance of this particular policy.
Thank you. Now let's all do our best to stick to that 2-minute thing.
Say it again.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, board. I am here as a representative of our district and also representative of all individual students attending schools throughout California. 13 years ago, I graduated from high school, King City High School in Monterey County. And 13 years ago, unfortunately, I was one of the few students, friends of mine, friends like individuals like myself, like that graduated. Unfortunately, 80 to 95% of my own friends are either in prison, locked up, or dead, due to the fact that they were disenfranchised by zero tolerance policies that continue to impact our community. And unfortunately, we tend to believe that, you know what, it's not going to affect us. Unfortunately, it is going to affect us. Whether it's through the school to prison pipeline that's already there. I see people, friends of mine, getting hired, hundreds of them, every day by the correctional department. And we can't find jobs, but we can find those jobs. I see it every day now as an admin. I seen it here. I started here at the district in 2005 as a TA. From TA to teacher to whatever. But I continue to see the same systematic zero tolerance policies affecting our kids. And now I see them in our own classrooms. But like Mr. Robert Sullivan said, it needs to begin in the classroom with relationships between teachers and students. Therefore, the professional development is going to be key in order to make this happen. We can sit here and talk about it, but if we don't put the funding into that and help our teachers better understand and become more literate with equity, they're not going to understand it. And therefore, we're not going to be able to build the capacity that we need to make successful. Thank you.
Thank you.